Our next session is we're gonna continue the fun with arts and aging. And thank you for providing your details and website, Lindsay. So I am so looking forward to this session. I would like to bring up Sydney Straightiff and Tyler Meyer to the stage. They're gonna talk us through a number of different, it's going to be a very interactive presentation. They're going to describe for you in more detail the beautiful Serenata murals that you see in the lobby. And I'll just give a quick note to say that Sydney is actually a PhD student here at the U of A. She's also an oboist in the Applied Intercultural Arts Research Graduate and Disciplinary Program. And she's been working with Innovations in Healthy Aging for quite some time. She was really instrumental in our planning committee for today. Similar to Tyler Meyer is part of our planning committee. He's been a wonderful partner and colleague, and he's the executive director of the Poetry Center at the U of A. And then we have joining us as part of this presentation, and I believe she's online, the wonderful Professor Jenny Gubner, and she's an assistant professor of music at the UA College of Fine Arts. So my personal thanks to this triad, and I think we're really going to enjoy this next session.
Thanks, Tara. Do you want to jump in? Yeah. We were going to do an oboe poem duet for you, but then we decided we would just stick to the slides. So we'll save you guys.
Hi, welcome. We're so excited to have the opportunity to connect with you all today over the topic of innovative and creative aging. Today, we'll be talking about current aging in the arts programming at the University of Arizona and how we are working to increase education and community through a creative engagement. This is my advisor and mentor, Dr. Jenny Gubner. She is a visual ethnographer interested in creative aging. Unfortunately, she couldn't be here today, but she sent a video to introduce herself and help frame our presentation.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Jenny Gubner. I'm an ethnomusicologist, which is like a musical anthropologist, and I also run a graduate program at the University of Arizona in applied intercultural arts research. This is an exciting new program that is taking research perspectives from the arts and applying those to answer social questions affecting our communities and our world. My own research looks a lot at music and arts and creative aging, and I'm privileged to have many wonderful graduate students that are also pursuing similar types of research around intercultural perspectives related to creative aging and building healthy societies through the arts. I hope you enjoy our presentation today and some of the work that I have sent over to be displayed on the walls related to a project I did recently connected to Latin love songs here in Tucson. Have a wonderful day and take care.
Oh, great. And as mentioned, I'm Tyler. I work as the director at the University of Arizona Poetry Center and part of the College of Humanities. We've done some work around building national coalitions for poetry efforts in the poetry field in the country. We'll talk a little bit more about how the Poetry Center is connected to the Aging in the Arts initiative in just a second, with some poetry circles that we've been doing and then some support of a reading series that we do in Tucson.
And again, I'm Sydney Straightiff. I'm a third-year PhD student in the Applied Intercultural Arts Research program with a focus in arts and wellness and a minor in health behavior, health promotion. My background in the arts is in oboe performance, and I'm hoping to build a career in arts and health administration work. As part of my graduate education, I joined Innovations in Healthy Aging 2 years ago as the graduate assistant in outreach. And it's through my program in this work that I've seen the value in serving the aging community and the impact creative programming has had on overall well-being. To frame this talk, we want to begin with a few questions. What does it mean to promote healthy aging through the arts? And how can the arts be used to help build age-friendly societies? These are the kinds of questions that Dr. Gubner and I ask as creative aging scholars in dialogue with the larger interdisciplinary field of arts and health research. While we do not have the time to answer these questions in depth today, we do have the opportunity to speak a little about how we've been using the perspectives from the arts to contribute to Innovations in Healthy Aging strategic initiative at the University of Arizona. Arts and aging research initiatives can take many forms. One approach involves thinking about the arts as a vehicle for creative storytelling. How can we use artistic modalities to gather and share stories in ways that can help change and shape new narratives about healthy aging? The murals on the wall today are a great example of using the arts as a way of storytelling, reimagining what healthy aging could look like through an intercultural lens. Another approach is to think about the arts as a mode of engagement. How can we build, evaluate, and promote programs that use the arts to encourage practices that promote wellness and health? The work we've been building about all walking is a great example of this latter approach. Returning to the idea of storytelling, let me talk a little bit more about Dr. Gubner's Serenata project, which is represented today by the color murals you saw as you walked in. This is a project Dr. Gubner built starting in 2020 with support from the Alzheimer's Association and the Innovations in Healthy Aging Strategic Initiative. This project has many layers and involved gathering stories about music and aging from the community-dwelling Spanish-speaking older adults in Tucson, creating a love songs ensemble at the University of Arizona with university students that then serenaded older adults in the Latinx community with their favorite love songs. And creating murals about these encounters was a way of sharing these stories. And we invite you to explore this project more during lunch. It features 3 of her project participants that were and have accompanying videos. In terms of projects related to program building, we have 2 programs that we want to speak about. The first is the Poetry Circle, which is a partnership between the University of Arizona Poetry Center and the Innovations in Healthy Aging Strategic Initiative, Aging in the Arts. The group meets monthly around different themes, either like themes or poets, which are led by the poetry docents. And so a couple of themes that we had this year were poetry and mindfulness and eco-poetry. The second program is a workshop about all walking, which is a part of a larger arts-based research project that Dr. Gubner and I have been building. It uses perspectives from the arts to promote wellness connected to the emotion of awe. We were inspired to build this project in response to recent findings in neuroscience about the benefits of all walking. So you all received an email this weekend asking you to go on a walk and document something that made you stop and pause. And if you didn't, that's okay. There's a lot of ways that we feel awe. It can be if you feel chills. We'll ask you to stop and think about the last time that you had a moment of wonder. Before we get into your assignment, I want to explain a little bit about this project more. So why all walking? In 2020, one of Dr. Gubner's mentors, Dr. Virginia Sturm, published a study exploring the health benefits of all walking. All walking is the process of going on walks, engaging with this emotion. It can be found in big things such as sunsets or canyons, or small things like a cactus needle. I went on a monument tour and saw it in all of the monuments. This is my first time in DC. The study found that going on these walks helped people experience the small self, which is the idea that the world is bigger than oneself. These walks also allowed people to tap into childlike wonder. Awe can also be felt in fear, but this study focused on the more positive aspects of this emotion and showed that engaging with this emotion increased individual levels of happiness and gratitude and decreased levels of stress. Dr. Gubner read this study and started thinking about how we could use perspectives from the arts to help people tap into this emotion and promote these exciting scientific findings. She then invited me onto the project, and we began an initial exploration looking at how we might use creative themes to train our eyes to all walk, such as looking for color, texture, light, or scale. And then beyond this, how we use creative modalities to share all findings with others. This fall, we launched the Creative Encounters in All Walking series. We partnered with an art specialist, a community partner, and intergenerational community members. We wanted to think about how art projects and creative themes could encourage people to go on walks on their own. This year, we partnered with 6 different partners and have plans to continue next year. And these were both partners on campus and in the Tucson community. What we found was that this program gave older adults the opportunity to connect with new community partners and community members of all ages. Community partners were eager to continue these workshops, and we had a great turnout at all events that crossed over into other programs like the Innovations in Healthy Aging lecture series. This is so valuable given that social isolation is such a huge issue that affects the health of older adults. This kind of community-based arts programming offers a great and affordable strategy to address well-being and boredom and promote social engagement opportunities for older adults. It works because it involves asking people to engage in intentional play. and tap into awe in a place where they could ask questions of us and each other. Rather than tell you about their thoughts on the project, I want to hear from them. This slide features photos sent to me from a participant outside of our series meetings on her own awe walk. And you're going to hear from a participant named Tim, who discovered awe for the first time this year.
Go somewhere new each week. You're more likely to feel awe in a novel environment where the sights and sounds are unexpected. When you retire from your profession, your focus for many years has been what you've done in your profession. I think when you leave that behind, you may have hobbies or interests or family functions that you attend, but it helps if you can kind of broaden your perspective. And I think that's really what awe walking has done for me personally. The awe walk has helped me, I guess you'd say, really recognize things at a deeper level. A lot of the people in my neighborhood have cactus in their landscape. I probably walked around and not really paid much attention to the cactus, maybe hundreds of times. I took my smartphone and photographed several of the cacti. And what it really helped me do was get a greater sense of awareness of how multivariate cactus are and how important they are in the desert environment.
Tim's one of my favorite people. I met him this year and has just had such a great impact on my life, so I'm happy that he could be featured. Before I invite Tyler back up to introduce our activity for today's talk, I want to show you a bit of what we'll be exploring later at our awe interlude. Alongside the workshop series, we've been building a website called the Awe Collective to help promote awe on a larger scale. The website allows visitors to share and map moments of awe and tag them with specific themes. So as you can see here, we have a heat map and a gallery feature, so you can look at awe in various ways. Today, you'll have the opportunity to contribute to the collective, but to hear more about that, let me turn it over to Tyler, and he'll take us into our activity. Thank you.
That's my part. Thank you, Sydney. Wonderful. Okay, we'll just jump into this very quickly. So you had a homework assignment, and your homework assignment was to have an experience with awe and to take this invitation to have an awe walk. And so if you had a chance to do that, that's great. Think about that moment that you had. If you took a picture on your phone, you can call it up. If you did not do that homework assignment, I am sure that there's maybe an experience of awe you can recollect or can think about. And if you're online, I hope you'll do this as well and join us. I wanted to share a quick poem as an amuse-bouche for this that gives us, I think, some context for what we're going to hope to do with that moment of awe that you guys have experienced. A lot of this is about relationship, how we notice, or the kinds of attention that we pay to our everyday surroundings and environment. Tim talked about it as suddenly seeing cactus in a new way. So this poem is by the poet Naomi Shihab Nye, a treasure of a poet, an incredible person, kind of an international ambassador for poetry. And this poem is called Famous. And it goes like this. The river is famous to the fish. The loud voice is famous to silence, which knew it would inherit the earth before anybody said so. The cat sleeping on the fence is famous to the birds watching him from the birdhouse. The tear is famous briefly to the cheek. The idea you carry close to your bosom is famous to your bosom. The boot is famous to the earth, more famous than the dress shoe, which is famous only to floors. The bent photograph is famous to the one who carries it, and not at all famous to the one who is pictured. I want to be famous to shuffling men who smile crossing streets, sticky children in grocery lines, famous as the one who smiled back. I want to be famous in a way a pulley is famous, or a buttonhole, not because it did anything spectacular, but because it never forgot what it could do. So that's setting our scene, thinking about relationship to the things that we notice, how we notice things differently, and how that sends us forward to experiences with awe. So your little assignment, we're going to make a small laboratory in this space for the next 2 minutes. Sydney's going to pass out note cards, or if you've got a piece of paper, you can write this down. I want you to think about that experience with awe and reflect on maybe your sensory ways of recognizing it, what it smelled like, what it tasted like, what it felt like, what you saw. Those kinds of experience, and write that down for us in language that we will collect. You won't have to share this, so don't be afraid to be bold. But take the next 2 minutes, reflect on that experience of awe, think about a sensory way to respond to it, how it felt, what it smelled like, what it looked like, what it tasted like. And if you're online, you can do this by sending in those thoughts to the moderator. We want to include you as well. Again, just for a couple minutes here, and then we'll move on to the first research presentations. And thanks for boldly jumping in to this laboratory that we've created.
If anyone needs a note card or a pen, just raise your hand.
Yeah. Maybe just take about 30 more seconds. Okay, Sydney's going to come around and collect thoughts. So thanks for participating, you bold and intrepid summit attenders. We're grateful for you for doing that.